Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showcasing a build that I've cooked this last night. HEXBLAST, obviously Sanctum Runner. So yeah, let's get started. I have everything set up here, the leveling, the budget, the somewhat more expensive version, and the Mirror Plus version, along with the skill leveling budget and all that, also items and configuration. I do not have notes as I cannot make my point across notes, so there's no point, right? Okay, so there's nothing said about the leveling tree really. You only want maybe to go fast to this to get some sustain, and it's pretty much the rest is just basic. I don't think there's nothing to be said, everyone can understand this. Just go online and that's it. Maybe if you want, you can just stop that and just take this early on, so that you have more mining speed, which you'll for sure feel better. Yeah, actually this is way better. Just do it like this. And sadly, because we do not have anything to stack on at the moment, most of this tree is just trash. So we have power charges, but there's nothing we can do with power charges, right? We have crit, but there's nothing we can do with crit. We have increased effect of non-aura curse, um, auras from your skills, but we do not have auras. Well, what's the problem? The problem is we need to change items. So the leveling one, you only need basically this axe from level 31 and this ring from 52. This ring is more expensive, do keep this in mind. The rest are up to you, it doesn't matter. Find boots with movement speed, some res, helmet with some res, it's up to you really, it's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. Now, for the skills, there are two variants that I made up to level 30, Stormblast Mine and Rolling Magma. And then after 31 you change to Hexblast, and I'll explain it in a bit. Now this is up to you, playing Hexblast, playing Stormblast, Swift Assembly and added lining, and also use Skull, but you'll have dexterity issues. Along with Flame Dash, Holy Flame Totem. Now, if you can't use Summon Skitter boards and Herald of Ice, don't use Herald of Ice. Just delete it, forget about it. Use Summon Skitter boards instead. And at 24, use Automation with Detonate Mines. That's all you need. With Rolling Magma, use Combustion and add the lining. Again, you can use added cold, but dexterity issues, as I said. And mostly the same thing. You'll use Flame Wall with Holy Flame Totem this time for more DPS. And yeah, you can just swap it for Herald of Thunder too if you really want. This for mobility is from the weapon, don't mind it, it's anywhere, right? Now, you change to level 31 X-Blast. This is 38, just keep this in mind. But you're gonna need this weapon to use it. Now level 31 you also unlock Blasphemy, but because Blasphemy has a range, you cannot consistently proc the Ace Blast because of his range. If it's like the monster is not near you, you'll just see it doesn't proc. It's very annoying, I don't recommend it. You can use Blasphemy at the very high end, you do use Blasphemy, but right now just use Flammability, this kind of weapon, and you're good to go. No problems whatsoever. Along with Flame Dash, Summon Skitter boards again, and Detonate Mines with Automation. And this is at 52, you're gonna use it on the Profane Proxy. You can also just use it here instead, so that you'd have shock. You'll probably get more DPS that way. Although chill is more defensive, it's up to you the way you like it. And that's pretty much it. You don't need much else for the leveling guide. Now we go up a tier to the budget version. And the configuration, it's again budget. There's nothing to configure uh, at the leveling section, right? Also, it's made on standard. I mean, the enemy is a standard boss. You won't do pinnacle with this, just to let you know. And I will assume you have 3 ascendancy points made. Just as an idea, because you're a Scion, you will have only 3 max nodes with 5 passive points, not for other classes. So at this point, you have the Plunder Ball and the Adrenaline for 5 seconds on kill, making it 2 nodes at the moment on 3 labyrinths. But yes, now what did we change, right? So we got more points. I assume you leveled up in the meantime. You need to get overcharged because you have no way to get frenzy charges. Endurance is help, but not very much. You need a frenzy for more DPS. Like right here, as you can see, you lose a lot of damage if you don't have the frenzy charge. It gives you a lot of good things. So yes. Also, we did increase our crit a bit, so those nodes are a little bit better now. Those right here, those right here, also some nodes for health. But sadly, this budget version is still not that good. You still don't have any good items so far, so you're still struggling. Even though the DPS is quite high for a fucking like 10 chaos version or something like this, it's still just no, I personally don't think it's good. So try to get out of this fast. Try to get, I'll be showing you the 10 this version. You don't need to go straight in, you can just set them differently. Plus, most things aren't 10 divines, it's just as a whole. It's way more than 10 divines, as an idea. So, at this point, it's probably gonna be 5 link, and we added charged mines. Again, with the automation, you can use an aura. I opted for zealotry. You can use something else like hasted, maybe. Up to you. Summon skitter boards with frostbite. Again, this is. I'll test this out myself just to show you. So right here we do get more damage because we have shock. That's the idea, and you'll probably not one-shot most things with this kind of thing, especially bosses. So having shocking gives more damage, but as I have made the previous point, chilling is more defensive. It's up to you the way you like. And yeah, now we also use the wither setup with spell totem and multiple totems to stack up the damage. You can see you can get a lot of damage from this. At max stacks, let me show you real quick. You get 1.5 million damage, so 75% more DPS just from that. Which is not included because I don't like to include something that I'm not certain how much I have. I don't know how many stacks or animal I have, 10, 15, 1. You'll see it yourself. So yes, also bandit quest, kill all of them all the time. Those are changeable, it's just how you like it. I personally use Brine King and maybe Aberrat, or I don't know, this one maybe, I don't know, it's up to you, really. Use what you want. You probably just won't do mapping much anyway, just like a bit till you get some stuff going on to play Sanctum, because this is in the end a Sanctum build, first and foremost, and a boss killer. It's hard to do mapping with it, especially now since we don't have the Trickster Ascendancy. So you were really squishy. Funnily enough, this is the most effective health pool that we have, and it's the budget version. The more you go, the lower your HP will be, you'll see. So yes, what else did I change? Pretty much nothing. I did add, right, I added two jewels, cobalt jewels. Don't forget this jewel, and this is basic one. So what I want to showcase in this one is the stats. In case you have stat issues, like maybe on some skill, you need, I don't know, 100 dexterity or something like that, you can make use of the jewels and get some. Like if you really need, besides that, you can just take this, right? Take this and use it right here, and also this. And you can get stats that way if you really need. But yes, pretty much that's it. As items, you're gonna need to use this shield, and you're gonna use it very likely forever after. You don't need to swap it. This kind of helmet gives a lot of damage, and it's very likely very cheap. So yeah, you can use it. There are quite a few others like Devoto, Devotion, and the Katarina one. With if you really maybe use some auras in your helmet and you need reservation, you can use that, but it's a bit more expensive. It's still less damage than this one, by the way. I will only change it to Sandstorm later. The Restless Word. The armor at this point doesn't fucking matter. Use anything you want as long as you have 4 blue and 1 green, pretty much. That's all you need. Yeah, if you just find a 5 link with um, 5 blue, you can also trade, maybe use power charge on critical. This one. But you do lose damage as you can see. Not that much, but if you really have nothing else, you can just change that. But as I said, the armor itself irrelevant. You find a normal fucking weapon with 5 link, the gem color you want, good enough. And this kind of gloves, they give damage, that's why I'm keeping them. But yeah, uh, the cast speed is quite awful to use because you have flame blast, flame dash, and it requires cast speed. But yeah, you'll be swapping them, just not now. Any kind of boots with movement speed, any kind of amulet with all chaos, and just stats. Dexterity you're probably gonna need, and some res, that's it. And yes, strength again because you're very likely gonna need, and some resistance. That's all you need to actually cap out and just do some kind of thing in the maps because you're just gonna get one shot mostly. Also, you're gonna have lesser brutal and lesser massive with the knockback, which is not gonna, which is gonna feel quite nice to map with. So it's not that bad. You probably likely won't die. That's pretty much it. Now we go higher. As I said, you don't need to um, go directly. Like you can just set up comfortably at the budget version. We just take things one by one. As I was thinking, as the next one after this is the mirrored plus one. Try to make this as extensive as I can, basically, to allow you to have a comfortable stay here. Let's say go from 2 million to 65 million DPS. Basically, because I know you're gonna stay here most of the time. As a player, like most of the people are gonna be in this side of the tree, right? Like 20 20 divines, build 30, 10, 40, 50, around this side, right? And you're gonna farm currency, maybe go higher, make a new character, but still, that's up to you. Anyway, as I said, I was trying to make it playable, like actually doing Sanctum without a worry, in this kind of build, right? So you can also change some nodes because I do think with the new idols you will wanna do some mapping at least too. So those are like at least there to not just die, although you have 600 life. You're a Hex Blast, bro. As an idea, I added a large cluster jewel with two medium cluster jewels. And prismatic jewel, a militant fate with high Templar Dominus, timeless jewel, and a balance of terror. Now, I'll take them one by one, starting with the balance of terror. The only thing you need here is the wither for 2 seconds on it if you cast despair. Because of the wither, no, my bad. You need to use despair. I apologize, I was wrong about the despair jewel. To be able to use this, besides that you can use it yourself, there is this gloves called Hands of the High Templar Crusader gloves. You can get an implicit that says cast enemies with despair on hit. And those kind of gloves, you can use this jewel. Now, if it's worth it, that is up to you. Um, I also added this jewel. Um, yeah, I spaced out. I was about to sneeze. I'm sorry. I added this jewel just to make a point. We are using Righteous Fire on this build because with 65,700 DPS, we go down to 47. It's a lot of damage basically, and you need health regen and fire resistance. How do we get that? Well, first things first, through vitality. You need you need strength, 119 strength to be able to use vitality. That's why I was putting strength in this ring. I will prioritize the strength and the frostbite if you don't want to use this jewel because this one is expensive. So yes, it's up to you. Also it says it's cast. I didn't really use this pair. I think you need to cast it yourself. So you need to also press another button. So it's up to you really. I'll just leave it here to show you. If you watch the video, you'll understand what I said. This is not mandatory at all. But back to the point about how to get the regen. So how do we get the regen? As I said, beside the vitality, we have this bottle fate that gives us consecrated ground, and we get regen by being on consecrated ground. Also, as I showed you this jewel, we have 2 maximum fire res to be able to actually survive. Because if I take this out, as of now, it's still, yeah, actually, as again I was wrong in the video about one thing. This 2 maximum jewel. In the video I said we don't need it because we're on consecrated ground all the time. Yes, if we use Battle Fate, basically we're on consecrated ground all the time. But it's not like it's under our feet, it's not like we're Templar, right? So you will use it, you'll have regen, but when you're gonna move, and while you move you're gonna use it again and you'll be on it, but you won't be all the time on the consecrated ground. Therefore, you need to have for a very nice experience, at least plus without the consecrated ground regen. That's why I think the +2 fire res jewel is mandatory. You can play without and just stay in the consecrated ground to regen, up to you. But I won't like it, especially like maybe in Sanctum, sure, but in maps, no way you're gonna stay in place, right? You're just gonna zoom in the map. And if you're gonna stay in place, you're gonna die anyway from the mobs. So yeah, my bad. You don't need it, it seems, because we also have this kind of flask, the Amethyst flask with regenerate 3% life per second. That makes us able to regenerate more than enough to be able to use Righteous Fire. I had added this one long after I made this jewel, so I did not realize you don't need to use it. The same crap as this shit. So you can just swap it to something else, like um like this one with crit multi and spell multiplier. It's up to you really what you want to use. There is also um, multiplier for spell damage, crit multiplier in itself. You can get two of them, but it'll be somewhat more expensive. And you'll be swapping those jewels in the really high expensive ones, so it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. So why do we have 660 life, as I said before? Because we use petrified blood with iron guns and the pain attunement. If we take Arivalis on low life and take this off, we lose 50 million DPS. You can obviously just not do it. It's up to you really, but I will do it if I could by using those, especially since I'm doing Sanctum for more damage. Maybe I will not use it in maps, however, but that's pretty much about it. And most of the things are the same. I added phase run with automation to be faster. Withering step again to be faster. You can just use it. You don't have to use it if you don't really want to because it's not automated at all. So use it if you really want, then just flame dash out of it. Also, the animate guardian um, setup. I have it right here with dying breath, lyric cast, Grutult, some gloves with increased life regen and some resistances, and the scorching boots for more damage. You can read what they make each yourself. I'll just set up the video longer if I say it each myself, so I want. Again, Kingmaker, Crown of the Tyrant. This won't increase your DPS on POB even if you put it at configuration. Your Nerbal allies have 47 to 61 added chaos damage per white socket, but it does increase in game. You only need one socket, by the way. Have this guy, maybe one body armor, have one socket, and you'll get the damage. That's all you need, and it's a lot of damage, so don't forget this. Look, I'll make it myself just to know. Where is it? Good cult, white, one white. That's all you need. I don't know if it's bugged because it says per white socket, but even if you have 2, 3, 5 white sockets on you or on the anime guardian, you won't get more DPS. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we changed some things in the items too. We swapped to Void Battery and Sunstorm Visage. And yes, I still have this on, but as I said, you can just not use it. Although at this point I will advise to use it. It's good and it gives a lot of movement speed. We changed to new gloves. Honestly, the gloves are hit and miss. Like, the real expensive ones really give a lot of damage, but they're just way too expensive to include in a 10 plus divine version. So yes, I'll just focus on dexterity and some resistance on this one, plus the implicits with the increased damage and cold exposure. Now, I have two items right here that you'll be like, oh, I can swap this right away, which are Graven and Badge of the Brotherhood, right? This is one Chaos, and this is like the same price at Void Battery. But those two items are unusable without Ralakesh, so please keep this in mind. If you do not have Ralakesh, don't change the amulet and neither change the belt. If you use this belt without Ralakesh, you'll use arrow damage. I'll show you right now because you have no way to gain power charges anymore because you gain absorption charges instead. And because of that, if I take, for example, my Ralakesh boots out and see, all the DPS is gone because I just do not have any way to gain power charges. So please listen, don't use this without Ralakesh. I know I said it 5 times now, but all your fucking damage is gonna disappear. I tried it, and yeah, don't be retarded like me. Now, on the badge of brotherhood, um, the thing is that you gain your maximum frenzy charges equal to your maximum power charges, and you lose frenzy and power charges when you use a skill and everything. So it's quite impractical to use without Ralakesh, as you don't have a good way to stock power charges. We do not use overcharged anymore. We do however have yeah, my bad right here. We do however have Disciple of the Slaughter, which gives us a way to get power charges. Gain 8% chance to gain a frenzy charge on kill, right? Not power charges, frenzy charges. However, 8% on kill is not good enough to offset the 23% when you use a travel skill. Therefore, I will advise to just use it with Ralakesh. It's way better than using this one without Ralakesh, but still, try to get it after the boots. And that's pretty much it. Now, the ring. As you can see, we have strength, dexterity, and curse enemies with frostbite. I added stats because you're gonna need stats to use skills. For example, 44 strength. I think I made a point before to be able to use vitality, and maybe phase run to have enough dexterity to use all the skills at highest level. If you use it 21, you still can, for example, in this setup at the moment. Also, vitality, because you need exactly 120 strength, you still can use it. If you really want to, it's up to you. So yeah, now I added a few flasks. This one, it's a bit expensive, it's not mandatory, but use it. It gives a lot of damage with increased charges. Use on charges is full. Now, gun those. I didn't change. You can get better flask now. At this point, you can just grab them yourself too. Like 20% resistance, 55% or whatever highest critical strike, 40% movement speed. Yeah, this crafted one. But yeah, Also, we use a 6 link now. You need 5 blue, 1 green with power charges on critical. Because we also have Ralakesh boots, permanently having max charges, having power charge on critical is really strong because it gives us a lot damage. For example, if I take it out, we lose 20 million DPS just from this. And yeah, that's pretty much it on this side. I'm retarded. I have shown this before, I just didn't show the 6th link Hexblast. My bad. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, I explained this, so I won't bother. Alright. This is the DPS with 18 mines, 65, almost 66 million. So it's good enough to play. If you will be something else rather than a Cyan at the moment, you'll have more damage. An Assassin has more DPS, but 66 million DPS is really good. Also, at this point, I will assume you have all the ascendancy points down and we have Void Battery with 25 increased spell damage and 1 maximum power charge. And yeah, I also put enemies on concentrated ground, giving us more damage. Although maybe you'll just have it at very rares and bosses, not much else. You'll be thinking maybe why do we not have adrenaline, but because it's on kill, because we have killed recently, we have adrenaline automatically, and that's pretty much it. Now, for the last part, the mirror 3 side, mirror plus. There is not much to explain here. I have added the anime guardian buffs, the scorch, the fortification, the cooling strike, multiplier, and the crown of the tyrant buff that says nearby enemies have minus 10 to all resistances. This one counts, so I have added it myself to gain 1.4 billion DPS. This is not the highest you can go. You can go with one passive voice and just stack Adorn with magic jewels and just I think you get more DPS that way. I did not play it. This is the highest I went myself as it uses the same items I had on my normal character. So I will be able to get this much if I use the same items basically. Also I have 128 because you get 5 passive points from the Cyan Ascendancy node 3 whatever. What do we change and why is it a mirror plus? Well, because the wand is changed with haunted by tormented spirits and all spell, all chaos. You can look through them yourself. This one has for example one maximum power charge. We use the covenant which we have to use life for skills now, but it gives us a lot of damage. For example, I change it to this, we lose 500 million DPS. Obviously because he has plus 3 hour and plus 3 gems, but still, it's still a lot of damage, so I have tried to make it usable even with the life on skill, which as you can see it is, even with the righteous fire on and the skills gain a base life, we still have 157 regen over that. The Ralakesh have one socketed gem, corrupt, you need this, don't skip it. And the Whispers of Doom now, and the Mirror Ring. Now, you can use, still use profane proxy if you do not have a maximum power charge ring, but the moment you get a maximum power charge, use Calandra's touch. As you can see, gives me 200, almost 300 million DPS, this kind of ring. So the moment you get a power charge, swap it as fast as you can. This version uses Mage Blood, obviously, with Ruby Flask to be able to get 84% fire res, and Quicksilver Diamond for crit, although I'm very much not sure we need it, and Onslaught. You can use any kind of other flask, but I personally very much like the Onslaught with 95% increased effect. Feels nice, gives more movement speed, cast speed for flame dash and all that. I like it, so I use it. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, we still use this shield, by the way. I have it here just to show you. This is a mirror wand, and yes, it's better. You get 100 more million DPS by changing it, and yes, you also get more if you use both of them to almost this much. So yeah, but that is way more expensive, and I did not have the currency to be able to get at that point. So I don't bother. But as you can see, even like this, it's 1.4 billion. Before it was 1.6, but I had the brain lag. Now I wanted to explain, if you don't have a maximum power charge ring, you need to use um, profane proxy, right? And you don't need to use awaken or blasphemy to have frostbite. But in this stead, because the only curse we have is frostbite on hit, we need to use awaken blasphemy along with elemental weakness to be able to stack another curse. No, this is not a 5 link. I only added frostbite here just to test something out. But yeah, as you can see, if I take this out, we lose a lot of damage. Also, why do we need Relakish boost to be +1 stocketed gems? And especially +1 stocketed gems? Well, because we use Enlighten and this for Petrify Blood and Blasphemy. So Enlighten level 5 helps us with mana, which you very much need. So don't skip on it, as I said, you need this +1 stocketed spell, implicit. And then we go to the jewels. Pretty mandatory. Magic jewels, very corrupted but not corrupted. Yeah, you can get something better out of this. A 3 passive voice, the same. Cluster jewels, this one has some strength in it because I need the strength. I had used a different helmet on my character, but I can't use this right here. It gives 2 power charges, but because assassin had ways to get crit, I could use this. I could use this kind of helmet with 2 power charges. Now, because we aren't assassin anymore, we just can't. So we need to use Sandstorm. Therefore, I do not need strength anymore. You can just use something else. Maybe get res. I don't know. Something you do not need. The only thing you will need is dexterity to be able to have phase rush, phase run at max 159, and unleash potential, forbidden flame and forbidden flesh right here and right here. Those jewels are gonna be very expensive, so keep this in mind. But this is gonna be like 200, maybe 300 divs. I'm not sure, but it's gonna be very expensive. Um, what else? We use the adorned 94. I'll show you something real quick. 94%, right? Put in 99%, don't get any damage. So 94% is the breakthrough that you need. You don't need higher than that. If you're gonna check jewels, you're gonna see 99% is like 100 divines, 98% is like 95, 95% is gonna be like 70 divines, right? When in reality, you don't need more than 94. The next breakthrough, it's at 100, and yes, you'll get 50 more DPS at 100. I'll show you real quick. As shown, but that's way more divines that you can get, but I don't know, I didn't need to. I only needed 94%. If you go lower than 94, you'll lose damage. Keep this in mind. So aim for 94 if you can. The same Watcher's Eye with elemental resistances and the consecrated ground. Prioritize elemental resist. The same timeless jewel, and that's pretty much it. Nothing really to be explained. This is not a complicated build to do and to play really. I have added the enemies cursed. I have killed recently. I'm just making sure I have explained everything so I don't remember afterwards, but if I did, I apologize. I would very much like if you will say in the comments, maybe if I forgot something or I don't know, you have a better idea than me. Um, Same anime guardian. Now Hexblast level 21 with quality on high impact, awaken void manipulation now, minefield and charged mines. I also have quality on flame dash because it gives the travel cooldown lower so you can use it faster. Quality on skitter boards just because of the movement speed again. Mid shield and guardian blessing for increased effect and less damage taken so that your anime guardian stays alive. And again, phase run. Oh, right. Phase run with automation and detonate mines along with enhance. Why enhance? Well, it gives quality and quality gives movement speed on phase run. And you're gonna move fast with this. Like really, really fucking fast. Look, 60 more movement speed with this. It'll be noticeable like a lot. It's automated too, so yeah. Even higher, the DPS is really high with 13 power charges. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions and anything of the sort, do leave in the comments. I'll try to respond with what I know. But yeah, this is what I've cooked on. It's not a map runner by any means, so don't try it. Your guardian will also die in maps, your enemy guardian, so that's even worse. So yeah, hope you enjoy. This is my second time recording this. I hope this is not way too long now. I made a fucking 1 hour and 30 minutes video, and yeah, I don't think anyone will watch that. That's why I was speed running this time. So I hope you understood. Have a great day. Bye bye.